that was fabulous. That was Wooloo live in session with Slightly. So, Miles, you are from an artistic family.
I am, indeed.
So your dad is a musician. He was in a band called Soothsayers, is that right?
Yeah, he's still in there. He's still doing his thing, man.
Great, okay. And your mum is a contemporary dancer.
Yeah, she does more sort of lecturing now, but she kind of came from the dance world as we were growing up. You know, did a lot of stuff for union dance back in the day, and she studied at the Albanese School, so she's like in that world.
Cool, right, okay. And your brother Ben is in Warm Dusha, and he's your twin.
Yeah, man. That's my twinsy. That's my womb sharer.
Well, the womb share. And so, who's the oldest of the two of you?
Me. I'm like 47 minutes older or something like that. Yeah.
Does that hold any clout when you're having an argument?
Never. It never has. I mean, Ben's pretty good at arguing, man, so we just end up just like breaking into fights. Instead, I just get too frustrated and like, come here.
Yeah, okay. I thought I'm the older brother. You need to listen to me, but for 47 minutes doesn't make much difference, I suppose, does it, in the scheme of things?
Yeah, man.
But the first time I saw a photograph of you, I thought, wow, it's just Ben. They're just the same. Like, you look so identical.
Yeah, funnily enough, I actually used to have short hair, and he used to have the afro when we were growing up. I used to have dreads down my back, and then he had the big old afro. And then one time he just lobbed it off, and we just switched. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay. Yeah. Just to confuse people. But do you know
literally.
When I first mentioned you to Ben, he told me that every now and then when he couldn't play bass for Warm Dusha, you would.
Yeah, exactly. And people were coming up to me being like, wow, your hair's grown a lot, man. Wow, yeah, exactly.
Have you got up to a lot of mischief? You know, swapping roles and pretending to be each other?
Not a lot. To be honest, I mean, most people in the street are like, have you got a brother? You know what I mean?
Right.
We've got other twins in our wider family who actually did do that, and actually they're identical. So you know what I mean?
Well, that's naughty, isn't it? Definitely a bit naughty. But do you know, you mentioned Swiss Army Knife before, and when I was talking to Ben, because whenever I can, I try and ring up either a friend or a member of family or a manager or whatever, just to find out a bit more background than might be in the press release. And he described you as a Swiss Army knife, and by that, well, you explain what a Swiss Army knife means in this context.
Well, yeah, when I talk about Jordan, and I guess talk about everyone in the band, I mean, everyone kind of plays multiple instruments, basically. Yeah. Actually, last night I caught Blake before we came here. I was just like, we were all upstairs because we share a studio at the Railway Pub in Tulse Hill, and I just came downstairs and I was like, where's Blake, bruv? Because he's like, you know, he plays drums usually.
Right.
I just caught him in the corner just playing bass, just like learning bass. And Jordan as well, man, he's always in his corner, he plays drums, guitar, sings really well, you know, bass guitar, learning the cello at one point. Same with Tag's actually I know him as a guitar player originally.
Best guitar.
You know, he's like one of our favourite guitar players, but he actually ended up playing bass. Same with Jagar. He just kind of gets wherever he can get in, basically. He's like, yeah, I'll just play the bass today. Yeah.
Right, okay. I mean, he was using it in the context of being a DJ with you, because he told me that you've got an amazing record collection. You do weddings.
Yeah, I have done.
He said, and he said that you wouldn't mind me saying that.
Yeah, so, man, yeah, all good. If anyone wants some grooves at their wedding, some flanders at your wedding.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But he said if it's not going right, you just switch it to something else, and it immediately wins people over. So he was bigging you up.
Oh, big up. I mean, that's where I came from. I came from like turntablism and sort of like, I mean, obviously musical background and all of that, but he was like, I wanted to be a DJ. And Ben came home one day and was like, "Oh, my friend George, he's got some decks, and he's mixing grime." And I was just like, "Oh, you don't want to be a DJ? I want to be a DJ."
Right.
So I ended up going over there and just sort of like getting my hands dirty. But I kind of came from that world of just being like, it all makes sense. Music just makes sense to me. Whatever it is, doesn't matter if it's hardcore metal or like super inspiring free jazz.
Yeah, I mean, all that guilty pleasures is just rubbish, isn't it, really?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It's just pleasurable music.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I found also intriguing is the fact that you were growing up listening to the likes of Korn and The Offspring.
Yeah.
And then you saw Conan Moccasin, and he had a pretty profound effect on you.
Oh, yeah, man. Me and my bro, we went to... Ben put me on to Conan Moccasin, early doors. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm well up for it. Let's go to the gig. He managed to get us some guest list. And we both sat in the crowd, man, stood further back. And to be honest, it was like one of the most like immersive experiences that I had at a gig. I've seen loads of gigs and stuff, but me and Ben, like, it's because they were playing so quietly on stage, but the sound was so
lush,
overwhelmingly fat. Yeah.
I mean, him. I've seen him a few times, and we've had him in session a few times. But there was one gig he did at the Soup Kitchen, and he walked into the crowd, and he just lay down on the floor, and everybody else got down. It was like a cult.
Really?
Yeah, it was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life.
He's got pretty culty energy when it comes to some of his visuals.
I'll
definitely say that, but
yeah. Okay.
It was very, very sonically pleasing.
Well, so were you as well. Loved it so far, guys. Really, really brilliant. And the album is called Log Ahead, and you're going to do a tune for us now anyway. This one is Road Trip. That's right. You haven't got any gigs lined up, have you? We need to say that.
No, we were going to do one in Portugal coming up, but that got moved. But, I mean, New Year, we're just basically just going to take the bull by the horns and just, like, go for it. Wherever you will have us, we'll play. We'll play in the street, man. There are days where we just do that anyway, so...
Right, okay.
Love it.
Brilliant. Well, we are loving it as well. So, Miles and the guys, please get to it. Road Trip, Wooloo, live in session.
Bless.